Welcome to the people of Portland and beyond, episode 28. Today I'm with Sarah from Mundo Catering. How long have you been doing this?
It's actually Mundo Catering.
Mundo Catering.
Which translates to world. And we've had the company for just over 6 years now.
Six years. What gave you the idea to get into catering?
Well, we've both been cooking for pretty much our whole lives.
Mm-hmm.
And one day my husband was looking for a job and he applied for a position on Craigslist, and it turned out to be for film catering. So he did that for a few years and discovered that he loved it.
Nice.
So he just decided he was going to do it for himself. And I eventually ended up quitting my job because it was just too busy.
Uh-huh.
So now we are the chefs and owners, and we do it all.
Nice. So what film was he originally working on that first time?
Leverage.
Nice. What kind of meals did he cook?
Everything. We're serving the same people every day. So we have to deal with a lot of dietary restrictions, and we have to make everyone happy every day. So it's all about being able to cook a lot of different things and make a lot of people happy.
Nice. Sorry, we should start again because the audio wasn't recording at first, which means the audio podcast wouldn't come out as good. So when did you get into the catering business?
6 years ago, we started this company, but we've been cooking our whole lives. Mm-hmm. So we just, it's in our blood. That's what we love to do.
Nice. And you said 6 years ago, your husband got started working for a movie?
Yeah, so 6 years ago, he applied for a job on Craigslist, and it turned out to be in film catering. Mm. And he did that for a few years, then decided that he wanted to do it on his own, that it was his love. It was better than any job he'd ever had.
Nice.
So he decided to buy his own food truck, and we started our own company. And we got so busy that I eventually had to quit my full-time job.
And you guys are no longer running the food truck?
Oh, it's film catering food trucks.
Okay.
So we don't just park the truck on the side of the road and sell tacos. We take the trucks to private events, and it helps us to cook the food fresh on site as much as possible. And we have 4 of them now, plus 8 other support vehicles.
I guess most people think Hollywood gets most of the film work, but Portland seems to get more recently, I think.
Oh, we definitely can't compete with Hollywood, but
right.
We have a good amount of projects going on here all the time, especially commercials.
Mm-hmm.
They love using Oregon for commercial shoots, filming car commercials especially.
Okay.
So there's always gigs going on here. Small movies, small TV productions, and then once in a while we get the big projects like Grimm.
Where would they film the car commercials? Along Pacific Coast Highway?
Yeah, a lot of if you ever watch a car commercial, you'll notice that they like to be in downtown Portland, and then they'll be on the coast, and then they'll be in the desert, a lot of different areas. So
yeah,
it can be a shoot of one day, or it can be a couple of weeks long. It just depends on the locations that they're looking for. But they love the Columbia Gorge.
Nice.
And the coast.
Does anybody ever approach you asking for specific dishes, or do you just give them a menu and they choose?
Kind of a combination of both. We do a lot of customized menus.
Mm-hmm.
And for other kinds of events like weddings and holiday parties, I do have a menu packet I can send out for them to get ideas.
Yeah.
But in film catering, especially if it's a multi-day, multi-week, multi-month kind of a deal,
yeah,
we come up with menus on a daily basis, and if somebody asks us for something specific, we can usually make that work.
What's the most difficult and time-consuming dish that you've had to make so far?
Difficult and time-consuming. That's kind of not a question that I've been asked before. So I don't think there's anything that difficult. Time-consuming, it's when we pull out our giant smoker.
Yeah.
Because it just takes a long time to smoke the meats correctly.
So you don't like start saying one dish is harder than the other. It's all...
No, not really. There's certain dishes that require a lot more prep time, so you just have to plan for them. Our biggest challenge is just getting everything done within the time frames that we're allowed.
Nice.
Because sometimes we cook breakfast for 250 people and then have 6 hours to cook lunch. And then sometimes we have to move locations in between, so we have even less time to actually cook.
Mm.
So we just have to be able to think on the fly. If we get a flat tire, we still have to have the food out on time. So
Yeah.
it's all about problem solving.
Do you do like ethnic foods, or is it mostly American?
We do as many kinds of food as we possibly can.
Yeah.
So we're always trying to research more, find new ideas. My husband's from Mexico City, so of course everyone loves when we cook Mexican food.
I think I saw a Facebook post. You said that the best Mexican is in a lower income area. I think I was just told the joke in a bad way, but yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what that post might have been. I don't remember that one at all.
The more dangerous neighborhoods, the better the tacos.
Oh, yeah, that was a repost from someone. One of my friends posted that, and I tagged my husband in it and asked him if it was true. I just thought it was funny.
I mean, I had tacos in LA. I definitely agree. Like I don't know. There's some good ones pretty much all over LA, but I think that might be true. But if you want to venture into that area,
not me so much. But when we go back to Mexico City, there's definitely some amazing food down there, especially when his mom can cook for us.
Yeah,
his aunts, his cousins. It's a big family affair, and boy, can they cook. Gotten some amazing ideas down there.
Back about a month ago, you were at a panel, Northwest Wedding Pro.
Yes,
Tell me about what was going on over there.
It's a monthly group that meets wedding professionals, and we meet to network. We usually have sponsors for photography and food, sometimes videographers. Musicians. I don't think I've seen a musician actually performing yet, but I haven't. I've only been to a few
booking
of them.
Entertainment company or something?
Oh, definitely. Yes, there's definitely musicians that are there. I haven't seen one spotlighted yet, but yes, they're definitely there. DJs, of course. So yeah, so we meet and we network, and it's a great way to get your name out there and get work.
Have you met Madison Haley from episode 9 there? Probably not.
No, I don't think so. It's a big industry around here. There are so many wedding vendors. Just when I think I've heard of every company, more of them pop up. So I'm always trying to meet new people to network with. And
why were you trying to find married couples at the time? On the post that you made?
Yes. We had a panel.
Yeah.
So there were, I think we got 4 couples, and we asked them questions.
Yeah.
So that we could get some advice on how we could improve, how we could book more events, what they remembered about their day, what they would have changed. And the consensus seemed to be hire a coordinator. It is worth the money. Every single person, including me, that didn't hire a coordinator, that's their only regret from their day, because it would have made everything easier.
Right. So that's pretty important, definitely, I'd say. I was just talking to her on episode 9 and said when people hire like somebody in their family, usually it's a total disaster.
Yes, I've seen it work, but a lot of people aren't prepared for the amount of stress that it can involve, depending on how able to handle stress the bride is. Right. I could say the groom too, but it usually is the bride that's stressed out.
Any planning job, very stressful, I can imagine.
You have to be able to think on your feet, solve problems, answer a lot of questions. People are coming at you all at once. And if you haven't done it before, it's very different than just planning a birthday party. Planning a wedding is a huge undertaking.
I think being a parent actually helps you a little bit because it's so stressful and you've got so many things going on at once.
Oh, yes, definitely. When you have kids, your mind is never the same again. You're never going to stop worrying about them at any point. So you just have to learn to compartmentalize, I guess.
Right.
So that definitely can translate over to a lot of different areas.
Mm-hmm. You went to a mom-owned business meetup.
Yes, one's good. I'm trying to network. Trying to get our name out there, because the first time I did a wedding show, I had a lot of couples coming up to us saying, "Oh, I've never heard of you." So that's changed now over the last couple of years.
Nice.
We were flying under the radar for a while.
Yeah.
Doing the film catering. We met a lot of producers that would hire us, but film catering is so last minute, and I don't like having an empty calendar.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to branch out more so we can get some other events on our schedule in case the film catering never dried up or we just decided we wanted to switch over.
Yeah.
We still love the film. It's amazing. It's our bread and butter for sure. But it's also fun to be able to do some weddings because I get to be a little more creative with the time frames and the planning. I can really think about my presentations. While film, it's all very last minute and we just have to run.
Are you guys putting any money into advertising?
Yes, I would say the majority of our money is in our website, and that has definitely had the best return. So we have a company that runs that for us, and they even do blog posts for us, and that is definitely worth it because our website before I would maybe get a couple of inquiries every month, and now I'm getting that many per day. So it's changed
a lot of
it
people would
drastically.
overlook, your own website because Facebook has a page, Instagram. So you're like, why create my own website? But it's pretty important.
Yeah, you got to have the website, and we're definitely increasing our presence on social media as well. Trying to do that, just get our name out there a little bit more.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're on Wedding Wire, and we sponsor a lot of events. We've worked with some charity organizations. Lake Oswego Rotary is one that we do it on a yearly basis. There's a event that they hold every October.
Nice. Is there anything? Do you get sick of doing catering work sometimes? And when you get home, you're just like, I'm going to order a pizza. I don't want to cook anything right now.
Definitely. We take home a lot of leftovers. So we don't feel like cooking when we're at home.
So then you're just having leftovers from the event sometimes. That makes a lot easier.
Very often, yes. First off, I don't like to throw food away.
Yeah.
Unless it's unsafe, of course. But in general, I don't like to throw it away. So our employees get to take home whatever they want. And we also donate to Helping Hands, and they come pick up from us.
Nice. What was the most interesting event you've done, like weird-wise?
Weird-wise? We haven't done much weird.
Okay. No nudist resort events yet?
No, I think if I got that email, I would probably tell them sorry.
Right.
That is... I'm a little too conservative for that, I think.
Yeah.
I have a very open mind, but I think our employees would get a little too distracted.
Right. How many employees does the company have?
It varies depending on how busy we are.
You hire outside sometimes?
It's very... Once again, we usually end up hiring people that know some of our current employees. And during the summer, we hire a lot of seasonal people.
Yeah.
So it's a tough job. It's long hours, long days. And with the film catering, we never know what time we're going to be working until oftentimes the late night before. I'll just have to text people. So it takes a very flexible kind of employee and somebody that's not afraid of hard work. But
24 hours on call? Pretty
much. But it's a good job for the right kind of person. Somebody that really loves food. Someone that loves to have something that's different every day.
Yeah. How many hours is like a typical catering event? Or does an employee have to work? Did they do 2 events in one day?
It depends. Once again, film catering, yes, we can easily do multiple events in one day. We have many days where we have breakfasts, multiple breakfasts, 4 or 5, and then we have multiple lunches, 4 or 5. And then sometimes we have to do some more later that evening.
Yeah.
So that my longest day ever was 34 hours straight without going home or taking a nap.
Wow.
But hopefully that will never happen again.
You did that without any Adderall? That's impressive.
No, I don't even drink coffee.
Wow.
It's not my thing. It makes my heart race.
Yeah. Prefer tea?
Just water, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite food?
That's honestly probably sandwiches of any kind. I just like anything.
Yeah. You like cold
bread.
food better than hot, you think?
No.
Yeah.
I like different things. I don't like to eat the same thing. I don't like to cook the same thing.
Yeah.
I like change. I like diversity. I like that this business allows me to do that,
Mhm.
and that I'm not tied to Recipe Bible, that I'm not doing the same thing every day, prepping for the same restaurant every day. It's all different. And that's what I love about it.
Nice. Well, your Instagram, Mundo Catering, it looks really good. Did you learn how to do food photography?
No. No, a lot of the photos are professional photographers that I work with,
Ah,
and I try to credit them as much as possible.
nice.
And if I miss someone, let me know and I will add you. And then there's just some photos I luck into.
Right.
But I usually just have my phone on me. I have a nicer camera, but I'm not carrying that around while I'm working.
I'd like to know about these food themed shoes. Where did you
Yes.
stumble on this?
I think I stumbled on that. I heard on a radio show they were talking about the avocado shoes were coming out.
Mm,
And so I looked it up because I thought that would be kind of a funny little post.
yeah, that
And
is
I
funny.
found the pickle shoes, I think, as well.
They just make them look like it. There's not actual avocado in it.
No. That would be squishy.
Yeah, that would be really, really funny, I think.
I have some strawberry shoes. So
Nice.
if I ever have extra money lying around, I would definitely get food shoes.
I think my sister used to have strawberry shortcake shoes.
I believe it. Back to the 90s.
Is there any like month particularly that is your busiest month?
This last year was September.
Okay.
We did a lot of business in September. It was crazy how busy we were. And
Interesting.
this year is looking to be that busy again. Weddings in September
Okay.
are just selling themselves. I'm not having to do anything.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on gigmasters.com.
Mhm.
Are you on that?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. And I've been getting like leads every day because summertime. More this year than last year, I'm feeling. I don't know why that is. Maybe more reviews, but
Yeah, I think it just helps being out there for longer.
yeah, for
People will
sure.
eventually find you, and then
Your
other people
booking
know about
dollar-
you.
Your booking dollars go up, and then you rise in the search rankings.
Exactly.
How often are you getting leads on Gigmasters as a food caterer?
I don't really look at it too much.
Okay.
So I know that I get emails from them, but it's definitely not one of our biggest
Yeah.
ways to get jobs.
Definitely recommend anyone who's in the event industry or creative industry to check out Gigmasters. It's expensive, but you know it's legit. Gigmasters compared to Gig Salad, which is the free site, you'll get
I've not
better
heard of
leads.
that one.
I think through Gig Salad, I get like 10% of the leads that I would get through Gigmasters. So.
Sure. Yeah, with what we do, Wedding Wire has actually had pretty good returns for us, but for photographers, for example, there's just way too much competition.
Right.
So it doesn't work nearly as well for them. But for caterers, it seems to work. It just kind of depends on your client and your market, and you have to go where your ideal client is and find them.
Right. Is there also musicians on there, or is it mostly booking people?
There's definitely musicians on there.
Nice. Yeah, I'll have to check them out.
I would probably say that the amount of musicians is probably lower than photographers, for example.
Yeah.
So you might be in the same position as a caterer, but can't say that for sure.
Have you ever thought about combining the event food business and doing event stuff too? Or is it too much?
We do rentals.
Okay.
So we have tables and chairs, we have a tent, we have plates and linens, everything pretty much. And we have bartenders. But the actual coordination, no thank you.
Yeah.
I often end up doing a good amount of it because when people come in for a tasting, I will ask them questions that they haven't even thought of yet.
Nice.
So my job is to make their lives easier.
Do you ever get leads through a wedding event planner that you already know? Like,
Yes.
nice.
Wedding event planners and venues are our best means of referrals for weddings. So Maple Leaf Events in Stevenson, Washington is our best friend.
Nice.
They are always recommending us, and they are so much fun to work with.
Nice.
And there's the Ainsworth House and Postal Wait Estates in Canby.
Yeah.
And Trinity Pines Ranch. And we love working with all of them. Worked a whole lot of other places, but all of those for sure love working with us.
Yeah.
And recommend us on a consistent basis.
Where did you meet these networking partners originally?
One day was thinking I should do a wedding show at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And it just popped up on Facebook that same day that they were looking for a caterer fairly last minute. They had an
Right.
opening at a classic affair. It's a little bit smaller show.
Yeah.
It was a little more affordable. So I thought this would be a good way to get into it.
Nice.
And so there I met a lot of vendors. And then that's how I got into the Wed Pros Northwest.
Uh-huh.
Because it was a lot of the same people.
Yeah. You said that you did a pencil reality show for YouTube, and explain what that is again?
So it was a reality show based out of the Pencil Shoe School of Design that's in Northwest Portland. And we parked outside of their school most days. There were a couple of other locations and fed the cast and crew.
Nice.
And that show is available on YouTube Red, I believe, which is a paid portion of YouTube.
Yeah.
And I only watched, I think, a couple of the free episodes. But it was fascinating. It was not what I expected. It's not a traditional reality show. They didn't just kick people out.
They don't eliminate people? Or
no.
So how does it work contest-wise?
I didn't see the last episodes. I only saw the first couple. So I think it had something to do with whoever won the show would get a contract with a local shoemaker. That's my guess.
Does your food ever happen to get in the actual movie or TV show?
Once in a while, yes.
Nice.
Javier's been asked to do a few things, and we've done a small amount of food styling, but very minimal. People go to school for that, and that's we just do minor things. It's fun when Javier can point at something and say, "Haha, I made that."
Does it break your heart to see when they're on set eating it and then like spitting it out?
No, we haven't. I haven't actually witnessed that.
Yeah.
I don't know if he has.
Right.
But our food is not often spit out.
Are you involved in the National Association of Catering Events? I just heard about them on a podcast today.
No, not yet. I'm always looking for more networking sites, and right now we're starting to get busier again, so I'm kind of backing off a little bit.
On that podcast, I was listening, and they discussed how they made an interactive food wall. Do you ever do anything like really crazy or weird like that?
Interactive food wall. What does that entail?
I don't know. I just heard it in passing. But anything like basically where you make a whole setup, maybe something a wedding planner would do or an event planner, I guess.
I feel like, yes, if someone has a very specific idea in mind, they usually will hire someone else to do that. What we do is fairly simple. We're not over the top. We just want the food to taste good and for it to look good, but we don't do huge ice carvings or seafood displays. It's not really our style. We just like to be able to serve good tasting food to kind of low key people, not super super fancy $100 plate kind of people.
Has there ever been a situation where something got burned or something went wrong and you had to quickly come up with a solution?
Always. Always.
So,
that's the difference between a cook and a chef. A chef can think on their feet and fix a problem and still have it taste good. I remember Javier telling a story about he was going to do prime rib, but they suddenly changed the time on him.
Damn.
So instead of having 6 hours to cook, he only had 2. And so instead of serving prime rib, he sliced it up and made steaks, just thinking on your feet. And one time he got a flat tire on the road and still had to get the food out on time.
Yeah.
So he just parked the truck and had the support vehicle load up all the food into warmers and set everything up on site. And so luckily they weren't too far away from the location, but they still got it out on time.
That's probably the most important thing for catering, to be there on time,
Yes, we consider that very important. It's very surprising how many vendors can't seem to keep to a schedule. And it's definitely something that is crazy important for us.
Yeah.
Especially with film catering. If you're late, you're fired. That's it. There's no negotiation.
Yeah, I can imagine. In the winter, in December, you made an Instagram post about a winter-themed wedding. And what are some foods that you would use for like a winter-themed event?
I love braised meals in the winter, anything that's warming and comforting.
Yeah.
Pot roast, curries, polenta is one of my favorites. Anything that holds well and is hearty,
Yeah.
those are great items for the winter. Not so many light and fresh salads. We always have a salad bar out with our film catering.
Yeah.
Doesn't get eaten as much during the winter. People like their mashed potatoes and their pot roast when it's cold outside.
Yeah, I could see that. Have you met any interesting people at these events in particular?
We meet so many people. Yes, so we meet all kinds of people every day, and that's part of the fun of the job.
Any like super famous people?
My favorite was Elijah Wood.
Nice.
That was incredible.
Yeah.
I definitely had to show up for that one.
Big Lord of the Rings Hobbit fan?
Huge. Yes,
Nice.
I was in high school when those were coming out, so
you
he was a big part of my childhood and
you like
teenage years.
The books better than the movies?
Oh, of course. Who doesn't? But the movies are great as well. Yes, we've worked with many celebrities, and especially Javier, because I do a lot more of the behind the scenes than he does. But people love working with him, and he's met all kinds of people, but he doesn't, he can never remember who they are because that's just not that important to him.
Yeah.
So I'll have to kind of beat it out of him who he was working with.
Out of all 6 movies, what's your favorite one? Peter Jackson. Not including the cartoons, which I saw growing up.
I grew up with The Hobbit,
the Lord of the Rings is what I watched, and The Hobbit.
The Hobbit, the cartoon version, I watched that over and over again as a kid. We didn't have access to that many movies, but they had that one at the library.
My grandpa would put that on for me. Classic.
Yes, I love that. But probably The Return of the King.
Yeah. I like The Fellowship a lot. And what as the Hobbit movies, which was
the Hobbit movies, those were a lot slower.
Yeah.
They took giant books and squished them into 3 movies, and they took the smallest book and broke it up into 3 portions. And that, I think it was a little excessive.
Would you have liked to see Tom Bombadil in the movie?
I don't know. I hear a lot of people have that opinion, but that's not one of my biggest complaints.
Yeah. A lot of people say
I enjoy the movies. I did.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do forget about Tom Bombadil, which I guess is the point. Do
you see yourself growing like exponentially, or are you fine being like the size you guys are right now?
We've grown a lot, but in order to grow more, we need to find the right people to help us.
Yeah.
Because we're pretty much maxed out with how much the 2 of us can handle. We have another chef as well, Gavin, who's amazing.
Yeah.
But finding that kind of people that will produce the quality of food that we require, who have flexible schedules, it's not easy. It's the hardest part of the job for sure, is just finding reliable employees.
And vendors? Is there any particular place that you like to get vegetables from, and like, I don't know, organic or something like that?
We often don't have time to deal with
a
lot of that. A lot of what we get is last minute cash carry, Costco, Fred Meyer.
Yeah.
As much as possible, we work with what's local and organic, and that's all available in the stores. But we don't have time to order from purveyors. For weddings and things, we can order from Charlie's Produce and Pacific Seafood. But for film catering, we don't find out our numbers until the night before, and it's already too late to order by then. So it's definitely limited. We have to be creative.
Charlie's Produce, no relation to Charlie's Deli, right?
I doubt it. Charlie's Produce is a pretty big company, though.
Have you ever been to Charlie's Deli?
I have not.
What are some places you like to eat, like out?
We don't get out as much as we should anymore, but Chico is our favorite right now. And Teote, they're both amazing and consistent. Always great.
What are some dishes you like to get from there?
We just like to try something different every time.
Yeah, that you mentioned you like the variety. I do
exactly.
Too.
Yes.
There's like a new drink. I'll like want to try that if I'm like at a gas station. Like anything like that. Anything new I like, basically.
The new brand of our new flavor from Oreos. Yeah. Yeah, I'm the perfect customer for all of those.
What's your favorite kind of ice cream? Or do you like to try different ones?
I probably just like something that's very chocolate.
Would you ever be like a food judge of any TV show if someone asked you?
I don't think I would be very good at that. I am too particular in my tastes. I think Javier would do better at that than me.
What's your favorite spice? If you could only take one spice with you, you're on a deserted island, what would it be?
Well, salt.
Yeah.
You have to, if you consider salt a spice, but salt is a necessity.
Then herb.
I want salt, pepper, and garlic. Honestly,
Yeah,
I can do
yeah.
anything with salt, pepper, and garlic. If it's a fresh herb, basil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who does Thanksgiving dinner in your family?
I do it a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Like this year, I did it for my extended family. We rented a space because it's 35 people.
Yeah.
And my mom was supposed to be coordinating it, but events like this are a lot easier for me. I don't get as stressed out. So
Yeah.
she did her part, and then I said, I'll bring whatever you need. And then she said, yeah, just bring stuffing. That's good. But then she called me a couple of days ahead of time and said that people kept backing out. So I brought a lot of it. I have an aunt who went to culinary school here in Portland, OCI, and she's an amazing cook. So she brought a lot as well. But for me, cooking multiple turkeys is easy. I just break them down first rather than cook them whole, and braise the dark meat and roast the white meat, and it's super simple.
Yeah.
And you have more room in your oven, and you don't dry out the breast before the dark meat is cooked. So, and I have a large kitchen that I can cook out of, not just a home kitchen. As
a caterer, do you have like the best awesome smart oven, smart refrigerator at home?
No. All of our money goes back into the business. Right. Our money does not go home at all. So we have a house that we bought before the home market went crazy. So we have a nice house, but we just have plain white appliances and a 90s tiled kitchen. It functions just fine.
Where would the cooking for catering typically be done?
You have to have some sort of a licensed kitchen.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can cook out at your house, right, unless you get licensed to do that. And no.
Yeah.
So we had a 6,000 square foot warehouse and on 2.5 acres. And that's where we cook out of, but we pretty much just cook out of our food trucks. Because most of what we do is on site.
I can imagine if you're cooking from home, they'd be like, well, you can't even have a dog or anything. It's like very strict.
No. I have kids at home.
Yeah, if you have kids.
That's a bad idea. No combining. Work, home. Keep them separate.
As far as monitoring, do you have to like put things to watch the kids, or if you're not around?
Yes, her name is Annette, and she is our babysitter.
Yeah, that's better. A live person to actually deal with.
Yes, she is my aunt, and she is the best babysitter ever.
Nice.
Without her, we would not be able to do this. And she was actually on vacation in Disneyland last week, which was also spring break. So we had to get creative, and it is nice that we own our own company and can take our kids to work.
Yeah.
And they can just play on their cell phones in our office while we cook, and then we can have them run around and play outside when we get a break. So.
Yeah. It must be great for her when you come home with leftovers. Great reward.
Exactly. Perks of the job.
Have you been out of country?
Yeah. We took a late honeymoon to Europe.
Nice.
Because we got married while Javier was doing leverage. So I think 2 days after we got married, he had to go back to work. So we waited a couple of years before we finally got a break.
Yeah.
And then we went to Germany, Italy, and France. And that was amazing. And we've been to Canada and Mexico as well.
Did you feel that your food repertoire increased when you tried food from in other places?
Oh, definitely. We learned so much. The food over there, even the food in a train station, is better than most food here in fine dining restaurants. It's just incredible, the difference. It's so focused on local products, and just the food is life over there. It's not here. It just seems like it's sustenance and often garbage.
I often hear that the baguette is so much better over there. No, why
everything
is
is better. Everything is better.
What's the difference? The love they put into it.
It
the
seems
family
like it
over
is.
there is better.
Priorities, honestly, it just seems like it's more of a priority over there.
On a Sunday, they all get together and they'll have dinner and they won't work at all. Basically,
exactly.
Does this help?
Yes, it's huge when you actually plan to make a meal for your family and sit down and eat it
Yeah.
and use food from the local market that you can walk to. It makes a huge difference in the quality of your product.
Yeah.
And here in the States, I feel like we're trying to move more in that direction, but it's
Yeah.
difficult because we live near giant superstores that try to sell us everything when we should really be buying from the local people, but we're not quite there yet.
Yeah.
We do have our Saturday markets, our Sunday markets, our farmers markets, but they're not as convenient. And so it's going to take work to get there.
Nice. What was it like meeting Richard Kind? Was he
I didn't
funny?
meet him. That was on Leverage, so that was Javier. But yes, Javier said that his name fit him.
Must be naturally funny. He just like looks like he'd make you laugh anything he says.
Yes, pretty much. He said that he would come every day to Javier for an omelet and got the same omelet every day.
Nice.
Yes, he was a very nice guy. We've met a lot of people, but
Yeah.
Javier doesn't always, he's not good at telling or putting the vibe out there that he would like a photo with people.
Mm-hmm.
For him, it's not a big deal. I keep telling him people would love it if we could post these on social media, but we're not really allowed to ask for photos.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think if he put the vibe out there that he was open to them, then people would come up to him.
Yeah.
But he kind of puts the vibe out there of, I don't care. I don't need anything from you. I'm too cool. So
you made a post on Instagram saying this wedding couple had the most creative idea with this pancake stacked with love mix. Tell me about what that was about.
Yes. So that was a wedding for a couple, and the bride was a previous client of ours.
Yeah.
So we catered for her graduation from law school. And then her dad is a VP at Bob's Red Mill, I believe.
Okay.
So we catered several other events for Bob's Red Mill as well. And for the wedding, her favor was a Bob's Red Mill bag of pancake mix that they put their faces on. And I thought that was super cute.
Yeah. What is your favorite TV show to watch with the family?
With the family.
And then I'll ask alone.
Unfortunately, we often end up with one person watching TV and everybody else on their phone because we're all watching something different, just unwinding. Javier loves Narcos.
I like that one.
I love just anything cooking in general because I always like to be learning.
Yeah.
And my kids are 6.5 and 2.5. So yeah, it's a lot of Blippy and YouTube videos.
Yeah.
As a family, there have been a couple of things that the boys have been able to sit through, but even movies in the theater are a little bit hard for them still. I look forward to as they get older and we can all watch something together.
Yeah. Is there any scripted TV shows where they're like involved around food? I'm trying to think.
There's scripted TV shows. There's on Netflix. There's a few things.
Really?
Yes.
Such as?
I'm trying to remember.
I know Fresh Off the Boat has the whole they run like a restaurant, but
there's quite a few shows that involve restaurants in some ways. And there's movies like Waiting that's unfortunately fairly accurate, although I've never worked in a place where it's gotten that bad.
Yeah.
I would not ever. But there's definitely a lot of food themed.
Yeah.
Reality shows, of course. And there's more scripted than you would think. They always pop up on my Netflix because they can tell what I like.
Yeah. What I was going to say, what is, have you ever done events around Portland where they gather in like the square and stuff, like a whole bunch of food vendors?
No, because we're actually that's not what we do.
Right.
We only do private events. So we don't bring our truck and take money. And
if you had the food truck, you would do that maybe.
No, it's a completely different beast doing something like that. When we do film catering, weddings, holiday parties, we have a certain number of people that we're cooking for, and we know that number of people. If you park your truck in Pioneer Square, you have no idea how many people you're going to get if you're going to run out of food, if you're not going to have enough food. And I like a little more certainty than that. If we have a wedding, we have to get our guarantee ahead of time, and that's the number of people we cook for, whether or not they all show up. So that we prefer that method. Not really interested yet in parking a truck and making tacos from it.
Yeah.
Maybe someday, but it's very different than what we usually do.
So you did an event for a wedding at Trillium Lake. That's about an hour and a half drive from Portland. How often are you doing long distance events? We
do a lot of them because there aren't a lot of caterers that will do that. So often we end up doing events that are further away. We've done events on the Oregon coast, the Columbia Gorge, Roseburg, Stevenson, Washington, all over the place. And we even do an event
out of state.
We've done Washington. We're licensed in Washington as well. So every year, this will be our third year now. And in August, we have a group of fathers and sons that go horseback riding.
Nice.
And they pick a location in the middle of nowhere. The first year, it was outside of Prineville. But when I say outside of Prineville, it was 2 hours from Prineville. And that was 2 hours from any grocery store. And we had to bring all the power, all the water, run the generators that we had on a loop constantly. And we cooked 3 meals a day for them. So, and we tent camped. So that's an adventure. We'll be doing that again in August.
There is this company called Meal Pal, and they just started this thing where they're doing lunch for like $5, basically. Have you heard of that?
Yes, I have actually. And they've sent me emails.
I was going to ask. Annoying ones?
No, not so far.
What does the email say?
I don't know.
Just wanting you to join, or
wanting me to join. Yeah.
Like I was thinking, like, oh yeah, they just go to local restaurants. That's how they do it.
Yeah, we're not set up for that. It works for restaurants because they're open anyway. Just like delivery works for restaurants that are open anyway and have set menus.
I was thinking about trying it out for their discount, but then I'm like, well, I have to go out and get lunch at least 12 times a month, which I don't do. So it doesn't seem worth it. And it's like $55. You like add it all up together. At the
if you go out, I would say what it's going to work for is corporate. So there's a lot of places that have maybe $10 to $12 per person kind of a budget. And this could be great for them or great for smaller productions.
True.
Low budget productions.
Yeah.
For people at home, I don't know. But for corporate and film, it probably would work well.
If you weren't doing food catering, what do you think you would be doing?
Probably be still banquet chef. I worked at Widmer for 4.5 years, I think. And that was really an amazing job. I enjoyed it a lot. I was the banquet chef.
Nice.
They left me alone.
You would do anything not involving food, though? What would you do?
No, if I had an idea, I would do it. Because this is not a job that works well for you as you age.
Yeah.
It's very physical. It's very demanding. And if I had a clue what else I could do, I would do it.
Right.
Just as a backup plan. But there's nothing that I can think of. Believe me, I've tried. But this is what I love, and I really don't know what else I could do. I need to figure that out. If anyone has an idea, I'm open. But sales, not for me, that's for sure. Math and science, desk jobs in general, not exciting at all. I just need to make a lot of money so I can retire.
What's you think like 5 years?
Yeah, right. I'll be like my dad. I'll work until I die.
I mean, it's good, I think, to keep working because then it's like while you're living after a while, you got to have some kind of purpose, right?
Exactly. Yes. I never thought that I would be a workaholic. I never thought that I would own my own business because my dad did. And I saw how he struggled. He loved it as well.
Yeah.
But it's rough, it's stressful. You don't have a company taking care of you with retirement plans and insurance. You have to figure all of that out. So I always thought, no way, I'm not doing that. And look where I ended up. I can't escape it. So I'm going to work forever, though. I'm pretty sure I've definitely turned into a workaholic.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun if you like doing it, right?
Yeah. They always say if you love what you do, then you're not working.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd push it that far, but.
So, I mean, you must enjoy doing this And you had to kind of take orders at Widmer Brothers Brewery, being the former banquet chef?
Not so much take orders.
Okay.
Once again, it's banquets, so it's not in the restaurant. I would get a banquet event order, so I get a form from the salesperson, and we would also do a lot of custom menus there as well. I wrote the banquet menus, had a packet.
Was it similar, like the day to day?
There were definitely repeat items. I had menus that were more popular, but every day was still different, which is why I love that job. It always varied how many people would for the event. The menus changed a lot. Of course, it was Widmer, so certain items were more popular than others. You know, salmon and breaded chicken breast were always popular.
Yeah.
But I got to do a lot of fun things as well, a lot of customized things.
And what did you do when you worked at the Portland Marriott City Center?
I started there as a saute cook, and then within 9 months, I got assistant sous chef.
Yeah.
And then the chef that hired me there ended up leaving to go to the Vancouver Hilton. And while he was gone, I ended up kind of taking over. And I was still young at that point, so it was a lot. It definitely burned me out. There was another sous chef, and the two of us worked well together. But once he left, it started to get to me. So moving on to Widmer was definitely the right thing to do.
Was this Hilton line cook job more stressful than that job?
No. As a line cook, you just do as you're told, pretty much.
Were you on the fry side, though? I heard that's really... I mean, I used to work in a kitchen, and I know that they had the most work generally.
No, the Hilton was different. It's a union place, or it was while I was there. So there were always plenty of people around to work.
Yeah.
And that was the nice thing, is you didn't have to clean a thing. They had cleaners that came in and did that every night. So that was fun.
Yeah, definitely.
And I worked in every department because that was my internship out of culinary school.
Yeah.
So I worked in the bakery, the fine dining restaurants, the bistro line, and ended up in banquets and found out that's what I really enjoyed doing. I liked cooking for larger groups, larger quantities rather than the line. When I worked the line, people in the food industry will understand this. I would wake up in the middle of the night hearing the sound of the ticket printer.
Yeah.
Printing. And line cooking wasn't my thing. Definitely more into banquets and catering and larger events.
And what was it like growing up in Canby?
I loved it. I enjoyed Canby a lot. I had a great childhood. My parents are amazing. And they're still married. So I'm very privileged. And I was very quiet. I am actually in our yearbook as most shy. So I enjoyed growing up in Canby, but I was glad to get out because I could start over again and become somebody else, not just the same person that went to school with the same people from kindergarten through 12th grade.
Was there anything there that maybe influenced you to get in the food industry?
Yes, actually, my home ec teacher, Mrs. Fensack, who owns a bed and breakfast now in Portland, which is amazing. The Fulton House. And she was our advisor when we started a restaurant in the school, kind of a school cafeteria thing. And we sold pizza and cookies and sandwiches, Italian sodas, espressos, all of that. And we wrote up a business plan and took it to state nationals.
Wow.
And she took me to Western Culinary Institute. We had a field trip. And at that point, I decided this is what I want to do. So that was middle school. And once I set my mind to something, I do it. And I never changed my mind. And I went to culinary school and here I am.
I changed my mind. I was in home ec and I was like, I want to be a chef. And I was like, teacher loved me. And I remember one of the dishes, I was like, I want to make mint chocolate chip ice cream because at the time it was my favorite ice cream. So we made it. And that's what I remember. Is there anything you remember making in home ec?
I feel like there was less cooking than there should have been in home ec. I know that we made
sewing pillows.
We definitely made chocolate chip cookies. I remember that.
Yeah, I do that.
But they geared it more towards home cooking than restaurant cooking.
Nothing really cool. Like, oh, I want to try to make this.
No.
That's what I like to do. Like, I make bagels here.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
Yeah.
But no, it was pretty basic. I think they were scared to let middle school and high school kids around dangerous knives and hot stoves.
Yeah.
So the amount of cooking we did was fairly minimal, but I just decided that's what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if at these events, is it always something like that looks really cool, like maybe high end, or do people ever get something simple like a pizza or a bagel or a burger? I don't know.
Simple is very, very
Yeah.
popular, actually. Right now, comfort food is huge. Tacos, Hawaiian, Italian, super popular. People love things that remind them of their childhood. And especially with film, people don't like when we go too fancy.
Right.
When we worked on Portlandia, they wanted tacos twice a week at least. And so I had to get creative because I didn't want to serve the same taco menu every week or every couple of weeks. So I came up with as many different things as I possibly could while still putting tortillas and guacamole out.
Yeah.
So they love that kind of thing. They love sandwiches. We did a Philly steak.
Yeah.
A bar kind of cooked to order with a portable flat top griddle.
That on Philly cheesesteak day.
Exactly. So all of those things have been our most popular.
Nice.
We have the groups that love, filet mignon and lobster, but for the most part, people just want something tasty and comforting and not over the top.
Yeah. Has there ever been an instance when a celebrity wanted something specific and you had to cook that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Usually it's dietary restriction related.
Okay, not like a picky mother.
Most celebrities are a lot more low maintenance than you would think.
Okay.
It's usually the people who are new to the industry that are more high maintenance.
Right.
But people that have done this for a while understand that you treat the person who's cooking your food with respect.
I got a story for you.
you treat them well.
When I was at Five Towns College, it's like a music recording school back on Long Island, New York. Supposedly, well, I guess it did happen. Julian Lennon came in to do a recording, and I heard that they made him a peanut butter sandwich, and he like smushed it on the girl's face or something.
Yeah, that's not nice. No, we have been very lucky. We have had no bad experiences at all.
That's good.
And I'm not just making that up. Everyone's been amazing.
Nice.
So I would say that the people that have the biggest attitudes are usually the ones that deserve them the least.
Yeah. Eventually, those people don't want to work with them in Hollywood is what I hear.
Exactly. They get weeded out. So it's a very small business in general. So you have to be careful how you treat people. You never know who you're going to tick off.
Well, I want to thank you for coming in. It's been great.
Thank you for having me.